So most of us are overworked and underpaid. It doesn't matter how we try to stretch our last dollar, it's just not working. Rent is due, mortgage is due, bills are due, and they don't stop. I've decided that I'm going to show you a quick way to make passive income. Let me show you how to make delicious breakfast burritos that you can possibly sell tomorrow morning, and by lunchtime make...
Oh wait, you cannot do that.
Why?
Burritos are time-sensitive food item. Most states do not allow that under cottage food laws.
Today, I'm going to show you how to make 20 delicious breakfast burritos that you can gift to your family, friends, and community for a donation.
Anywhere you go, give it all. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
So it's a really busy day at HEB, and I'm probably not going to be able to vlog or film everything that I want to. I just need to go in the store and get out. So here we go. Is your time worth more or the money that you're going to make, right? So for example, if you don't want to make homemade fresh tortillas, buy store-bought like these. Basically, you would need to buy 40 of these types of tortillas because they're small. You'd have to double them up. So when it comes to tortillas, there's different brands, but you want the one that's going to taste freshest. So I'm going to opt to buy a bag of the harina preparada. It's basically a mixture, a dry mixture that's already prepared with ingredients. All you do is just add water, and there's a sale, so that'll save me money. I'm going to get ingredients for salsa, and I'm making chorizo con papa, and you can pick whatever type of chorizo you want, but guess what? This one's on sale, so again, I'm going to go for it. And when it comes to the beans that I'm going to add, it might be cheaper to make your own pinto beans at home, boil them and refry them, but I'm going for the can because that's on sale. This is convenient. Another time saver or hack, I guess, is just buying pre-shredded or pre-chopped or diced frozen potatoes like the hash browns to mix into the egg and chorizo, but I think it would be cheaper to just buy a bag of russet potatoes and do that myself. A lot of this prep work you can do it the night before, like making the salsa cups. And these cups, it's $3.44, but guess what? You can put it in baggies for less, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm guessing here, but I am just going to use 1 dozen of the cheapest eggs that I can find. I'm budgeting. And I'm going to see if I can make that stretch into 20 burritos. I think I can do it, but we'll see. So I'm going to check out and go home, and now you'll want to start by cleaning all your work surfaces. If you're going to start selling these, I mean gifting these, you'll want to make sure that your work area is always clean. Okay, breakfast burritos. I'm going to go with the option that is probably a popular breakfast taco, breakfast burrito option here, and that's chorizo with egg and papas, potatoes. Potatoes are 3 cents an ounce right now, so this is a great way to kind of fill the burrito with some potato and your chorizo and egg to kind of stretch it, and you know, profitability here. Okay, 1 dozen eggs. So this is 1 pound of chorizo. I just picked beef chorizo on sale. You could use whatever you want. Some people do ham and egg, bacon and egg. These 3 things we're gonna cook together. Each can was $1. That's great. And I'm just gonna doctor this up. And instead of buying store-bought, I'm going to make homemade. Well, these are semi-homemade because it's the harina preparada, meaning it has everything in it to make the flour tortillas. So yeah. I'm gonna use half of this bag. Another investment would be gloves. If you are handling food that you are going to essentially gift for donations, then you know, I'll put some links below of some of the things that I'm using that you might find helpful. So I'm just going to break this apart with my hands, my gloved hands, and then I'm just going to add water. I will put some sort of measurement in the link below. I basically use 2 pounds of the masa preparada with water. It's going to be like 1.5 cups to 2 cups of hot water, and just give it a mix, add a little water, and you just want to combine, mix until it forms a dough ball. By the way, check out the description below this video because I like to put a lot of information in there. So on our clean work surface, Here I'm just going to knead the dough until it comes together, and then I'm just going to divide the dough into 20 dough balls. To get even ratios, I'm going to weigh and divide. 9. Let's do, you have your calculator, honey? So this is, divide 1,637
1,637.
divided by 20.
81.85.
Keep that number, 81.85. So we'll say 82.
That's 82, yeah, round it up.
Okay, so we're gonna do, divide this. Oop. That's 86, 82. There we go. We're gonna divide it into 82 gram dough ball. Okay. Damp cloth going on, let it rest. Now we're gonna peel the potatoes. Yeah. So the chorizo has a lot of rendered fat, so I didn't add any oil. So after the chorizo cooks for about 10 minutes, I'm going to add the potatoes, season the potatoes with a little bit of salt, and then you're going to cook the potatoes and the chorizo together for about 10 minutes or until they kind of get cooked through, then add the eggs. Ooh. See how it renders a lot of fat and it starts to separate the meat from the fat? That's a good indication that it's almost, you know, technically cooked through. But we're going to let it keep going, and then it's right about the time to add the potatoes. Oop, there we go. Okay, I'm going to add some water. After I fried them with the chorizo for about 5 minutes, I'm going to add water. I'm going to need the lid. And then, now we're going to cover with the lid. And then just let that cook until the potatoes are soft and tender. Do a little cooking oil or whatever it is you use. Turn that up. And I want the onion to fry a little bit. There we go. I'll just heat these through, season them how you want, and they're ready. And maybe use a bigger pan. Okay, I'm gonna make a salsa. This is a very simple salsa. You can boil it, but I'm gonna roast it. 2 jalapenos, they need to be used, some onion, some cloves of garlic that I left the skin on, and like 1.5 pounds of Roma tomatoes. Going in a 400-degree onion until they're roasted, and that's it. And we'll blend it up and season it. Okay, so now we're gonna add our egg. Oops. Okay. And then I'm gonna kind of just let it cook, and eventually you mix it all in there. I'm gonna cover with the lid and let it steam a little bit, then I'll mix it up. I think I can stir it now. There we go. Okay, I'll turn that off. And this is done. Okay, so these have rested, meaning they're gonna hopefully be easy to roll out. If you want a detailed video of how to like every step to make flour tortillas at home, whether using this or like the homemade dough, I will link something for you below, but I'm just gonna try to get through these 20 tortillas, and they're gonna kind of be big for burritos. Rolling pin, flour, extra flour. We're gonna dust. Oh, this one's done. Keep them warm. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, that's great. So here's the salsa. Most people will use the little cups, the plastic cups. But again, it all comes down to price and what you want to invest and how you want to profit. So I opted to go for these plastic sandwich baggies. Okay, salsa. So by the way, I turn on the light. So I'm going to use this little scoop. I think that's a good portion for salsa, and I'm going to just scoop it in the bag. Hopefully we get 20 portions. Let's see. So just like a scoop and into the bag. If you're not making a mess like I am, we're gonna move this, and you just twist the bag. You kind of let it gather, and you twist the bag and you tie it off. Now, of course, use your gloved hands when you're doing these. I'm just making this for my house, but this is the way you portion out the little salsa. Then people can just kind of rip right here and just pour it on the burrito. But there you go, little salsa baggie. Okay, so here's all our salsa baggies, and you'll want to divide it into like 20 bags. I got 18, so just make a big batch of salsa, and you know, you've got your little salsa portions. And if you want to make extra, sure, maybe 2 baggies per customer. It's up to you, but I'm just trying to see how we can price this. Okay, and refrigerate this. You can make this the night before and have it refrigerated. So we have the beans here. And we have the chorizo. There we go. And we have what's going to give you repeat customers. Your fresh, hot, that is hot, homemade flour tortillas. Like I said, no shame in buying it store-bought. If that's all you can do, that's fine. But I really think this will make a difference. And just spread it in the center. I'm going to do like 2 of these. 1, 2, we'll see, like 2.5. Remember how to do this. Go back, fold the sides, and there we go. Now, you get your aluminum foil, your parchment paper, or however, and how about we wrap it like that? And there we go. Okay, 20 burritos. Now what I'm going to do, and I suggest you do to keep them warm, put them in a warm oven until you're ready to pack them up in an ice chest or like an igloo or something insulated to keep them warm. I want to touch on some like points here. The way you are going to store your breakfast burritos has to be kind of like a makeshift hot box. There are several ways to do that. I'm sure you could Google it. One way is to pour boiling water into an ice chest let the boiling water sit there, dump out the water, add the burritos, and close the lid. And it'll stay warm for several hours. I'm sure there are other things that you can look up online. It's going to take some effort and investment on your part. For example, you're probably not going to be able to factor in the time and labor that goes into making this product. And eventually you can if you keep going, but to make like quick money, you kind of just have to not factor that in. Now, maybe you can. I'm not telling you what to do. I am strictly just showing you what it's going to cost to make a burrito and what you can make when you sell it. Everything else is up to, for you to calculate and decide if it's worth it or not. Another point, you are going to have to do your D&D, due diligence, in your area, in your state. I live in the United States, I'm in Texas. Laws and regulations sometimes differ from state to state. So do your due diligence and make sure when you are looking for said friends, family, community to gift these burritos to, you know, ask some of your local mom and pop stores, ask some of your local businesses, and maybe make little business cards, because if you really are interested in doing this, then you know it's going to take some sort of investment on your part. And in the beginning, it's going to be time and money. Then, you know, eventually if you get good at this, you can factor in other things. Okay, so here's how I did the math for this. The burritos, I totaled $12.66 of ingredients, plus the salsa, which came out to $4.05, and I added those two numbers and got $16.71 to make 20 burritos. So my math might look a bit odd, but I basically calculated everything to make the burritos and everything to make the salsa. The roll of parchment paper and aluminum foil, I didn't use both rolls completely, obviously, so I sort of averaged the amount of materials I used with the baggies included. 150 baggies at basically $1.50, that's like 1 cent per baggie. So I just said 20 cents because I used 20 baggies. Let's say if you're making, you know, salsa baggies, 1 per burrito. Now, if you want to double the salsa and do 2 baggies for burrito, that's up to you. That's whatever you think you want to sell. Now, having said that, the way I calculated it, I got my total, and now I'm going to divide it by 20 burritos. So 16.71 divided by 20 is 0.8355. That's 84 cents per burrito if you round that up. And you can charge $8 per burrito, or you could do 2 for $15. If you just sold single burritos at $8 a pop, that's $160. Then you're going to subtract $30 from the $160. The $30 is what you spent to make the burritos, and you end up with a $130 profit. So I failed to mention something. With the help of my husband, the entire process of making the burritos took around 3 hours. Now, if you were doing this by yourself, you can kind of help like time and efficiency if you do a lot of prep stuff the night before. Even if you factor in the cost of like labor and the time it takes you to make it and maybe deliver it if you're delivering burritos, I still think there's a profit to be made. And like I said in the beginning of the video, it's literally a quick way to find passive income, especially in emergency situations. It is going to take effort and time on your part, but once you get into like the groove of things, then it could really be lucrative, especially if you're gifting and receiving donations. Okay. By the way, this is how I stored the burritos in the freezer. And I guess, oh, there they are. My son put them back there. See, freezer prep burritos. Whew, what a day. So I hope you found this video helpful. And like I always say, be sure to like and share with someone who might find this video helpful as well. Also, I'm probably going to be posting a video and giving you ideas for those of you that want to start a home bakery. That is a really popular thing, and I feel like even within your own neighborhood or in your small community, wherever you live, you could totally do that. But for right now, what do I know? I just showed you how to freezer prep burritos, right? Right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.